And welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. Boating season will be winding down soon. That means it's time to start looking ahead to boating season 2023. If you want to take advantage of East Tennessee's many, many wonderful lakes, get to Madisonville Marine on Highway 411 North in Madisonville right now. As I've told you for years, because it's been true for years, since 1976 specifically, there's no better place to buy a boat. Check out madmarine.com to learn more. All right, I wanted to throw in one very weird topic here. And the reason it's not a very good topic is because basically I just had one thing I wanted to throw out and we're going to make a topic around it. I was thinking of something the other day from my childhood that I just thought, man, I wish Tennessee still did this. And the NCAA, I'll start just to give everybody an idea of what we're doing here. The NCAA canceled these things. It happened in the late 80s or I guess early 90s. They said schools can't do it anymore, so they all went away at once. But back in the day, college basketball teams could host their own tournament. Kentucky, where you grew up in the state of Kentucky, was the Kentucky Invitational. Tennessee had the Vol Classic. And with our new set that you'll see next week, there we'll have some tickets maybe as part of the memory. It's going to be kind of a Tennessee version of the Hard Rock Cafe in here. It's going to be cool, I hope. But there's some Vol Classic tickets there that I remember going with my dad to these games. Yeah. Saw Karl Malone play with Louisiana Tech here. Saw Gary Carter hit a half-court shot at the buzzer to beat American, coached by Gary Williams at that point. Danny Ainge, saw him come in here and play with BYU. It was fun. 4 teams would come into Knoxville. The 2 winners would play, and the 2 losers would play the next night. It was great. It was fun. It was little. I wish that the NCAA would do that, and if they opened it up, I wish like heck Tennessee would start doing a Vol Classic again. And Mike, I was looking back to see if there were some games I had forgotten, and you had done a column on the Vol Classic just a couple of years ago. So you were a fan as well, right?
I was. I remember Johnny Orr coming in with, can't remember if it was Michigan or Iowa State, but Jim Herrick came in with Pepperdine one year. So that was before you had the Big Ten or SEC, Big 12, all these challenges and everything. That was good, a marquee game around Christmas time.
Right. Back then you had the Great Alaskan Shootout and then all these local things. All the schools had their own. Yeah. And it was really Elliott Perry and Memphis State. It was back when Tennessee didn't play Memphis State. And that was one of the few times they'd played. He came in here for a Vol Classic. So I loved the Vol Classic. Just loved it. Jimmy, did you have that on your list?
I had it on my list.
All right. Well, then I'll go to you next. What's the one thing you would bring back?
Beer barrel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kentucky and Tennessee, and I understand why they got away from it, but for goodness sakes, you're selling beer at games now.
Yeah.
So don't give me that excuse. So I'd like to see the beer barrel return.
There are so many other rivalries that have especially the Big Ten that have a trophy. I'd bring back the beer barrel.
You could even make it the bourbon barrel with Kentucky and Tennessee.
Well, here's the thing: Kentucky every year puts their coaches on the front of a bottle of bourbon, and they sell it, and it's like, well, wait a second, you can't have a beer barrel, but you can put your coach on the side of a bourbon bottle. That was because they didn't like Tennessee owning the barrel every year. I think
and also they had that tragedy.
They did,
with
but I think
they
could have brought it back.
Yep.
I think a big chunk of that was, hey, there's a good excuse to get rid of this. You also, if you go back to the Depression, they painted ice water on the side of it. The Temperance Union here made them put ice water on the side of that barrel. So somebody make it the ice water barrel.
Something one time. They know where it is. It's still out there somewhere.
Yeah, I guess did it wind up with Tennessee? Surely it did.
Yeah,
they didn't stop it after
I've heard it's in so-and-so's garage and
after
this, that, and the other.
No, I was saying the way things have gone for Tennessee, it didn't end after the wide receiver played quarterback that beat them.
Yeah.
All right, so beer barrel, Vol Classic. What are you doing?
I was beer barrel.
Okay.
And I also had Tennessee walking horse because I like that.
Okay.
But Mike said something before the show. Go back to coaches letting people watch practice and write stories to where the people like me who are a fan
So you stole
can
his.
read stories. I did. I stole it. Matter of fact,
Is that what you were going to use?
stolen from Mike
No.
Strange, open practices. I wrote it down because it's entertainment, and as fans, I think we want to hear more and see more about the team. I'll always think that the misinformation about the claw fence before that season, You know, if you could come in here and watch practice, you would believe how great this is.
Raise
So,
expectations.
but anyway, the beer barrel was my thing until Mike said that.
Open practices.
Yeah.
Have you got something else?
No, just to just expand on that a little bit, we had a better feel for what was going on. We got to know the coaches better, the assistant
Yeah.
coaches. And there was more information.
And then it seems like with social media, there's so much paranoia among coaches anyway. They're always afraid somebody's going to pick up something or somebody's going to take video of a formation or a play, and if that gets out, well, we're just not going to be able to tolerate that.
There's a simple, one thing, there's 555 media now, so anybody with a
That's
website
true.
gets in.
That's true.
So you could pare that back down. But the way to get around it is, you burn me once, your whole organization, done. You don't get back in. None of you get back in. So Jimmy, if you do it, nobody from the sports animal gets back in. That would end it. If you just say, hey, don't shoot this, and somebody shoots it,
Exactly.
they're done. You could get around that.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll used to have open practices. Didn't hurt him on his way to national championships.
But there's so much paranoia and control issues.
The last time Tennessee won a national championship, practices were open.
And the one thing,
See, and that's
Yeah.
why. Yeah,
The
that's
heaven
exactly.
wanted
Chuck, what are you
sense.
doing?
The one thing I would bring back would be the throwback jersey, and it'd be the Condridge Holloway look. I think those are really good looking, and you can make that look as good as anything else they're going to come up with.
Okay. All right. There you go. The Condor
Makes me
Holloway.
think of the big T on the helmet.
That's right. I don't like the fact that they have a smaller T on their helmet these days. It is smaller,
Bigger
and not
T.
just because of the Nike. Nike pared the thing down. They changed the design of it because they're Nike. But the sticker is actually smaller than it used to be, which bothers me. It used to be. Go look at a picture of Peyton Manning. It was a
Yeah.
huge T. You couldn't miss it. Now it's this little thing. Yeah, it's a little T. Fix that. Fix that. All right. When we come back, we are going to close down this set. All right, it's closing time. So we're going to have a little reminiscence to end the show. For those of you who've watched us age over the last 20 years, we'll do it quickly in a little 5-minute segment here. Come on back on the Sports Source.